Okay, it's recording. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Little Life Lessons, episode 4. I'm your host, Michelle, and today we have a special guest. I'm here with my friend Avery, and I'm gonna let her give you a little intro.
My name is Avery, as we now know. I don't know, I'm nervous.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'm an actor. I teach acting and singing to kiddos. It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, she's such a talented actor. She actually gave me an acting lesson too.
I did, and she was great.
Yeah, it was so much fun. But yeah, Avery and I met at ballet, and we've hung out a few times since. We've done acting lessons, photography sessions and stuff. But I thought I would bring her onto this podcast because you are such a great personality. Yes. I have a few questions I want to ask you today. I actually didn't tell Avery about the podcast topic today.
It was so funny. We were mid-talking when we were hanging out, and we must have been having some deep conversation because in the middle of her sentence, she goes, "Wait, do you want to be my first guest on my podcast?"
Wait, did I say that?
Yeah. We were talking about love or something, and you were like, "Hold on."
That's so funny because in my last podcast, I was like, I want to have another guest on my podcast. I was like, my next episode, I really want to have a guest on my podcast because I feel like I'm repeating myself so much and
it's good to bounce off of other people.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. And we always have quite deep conversations. We also have fun, but we also have
we're so silly.
Yeah, she is so silly. You are so silly. Yeah. No, because we were in ballet and we were gonna start the cross the floor combination, and Avery and I were the next ones to go because we decided we're gonna be the first group.
Yeah.
And she literally looked at me and she's like, meow. She just meowed.
There wasn't time for words. And I needed to express how I was feeling.
Yeah. So she was just meowing. She said, okay, let me get my point across.
Yeah, right, and you got it.
No, I got it.
You got it.
The topic is being yourself and how to stay true to yourself. Yeah, I feel like you are so true to yourself and your personality. In our early 20s, it could be so easy to conform into what society says you should act or be. But maybe because we are creatives, maybe because we're artists and we're surrounded by so many people with such cool personalities, that it feels more acceptable.
Yeah.
But I still want to get your take on it.
Yeah, I actually have this conversation with my closest friends all the time.
Yeah.
Because we talk about how each one of us, why we value each other so much, or one of the reasons we value each other so much is because we are who we are in any given situation, and our personalities stay the same. And it's so heartwarming to see, if I take my friend Will, for instance, to meet my family, or just we go out to eat or whatever, and we're in front of different people, he is who he is. And there's not a show that's put on. There's nothing where it feels oh, who is that? I don't know. We all love it, and we're all such weirdos, and it's just, it's nice.
What is that internal dialogue you have with yourself to stay true to yourself when it comes to even meeting somebody's parents or starting a new friendship or going into a room that you're not used to being in? What is that? Mm-hmm. What's going through your head?
I try to stay out of my head, which sounds counterproductive, I guess. But the best piece of advice that I would say is to be so present that you're not thinking of yourself that much. I think the second you try to analyze your own behaviors is when you kind of get caught in that anxious feeling. And I've been there before. I have those moments, and to shake it, I just say to myself, I am who I am. I know my heart. I know who I am. And if someone else doesn't want to receive that the way I want them to, that's not in my control, and I just have to let that go. And also, I'm not going to be for everyone. And that's another thing I have to remember, because there have been times in my life where I'll be myself and I can tell that, it's not for the other person. I'm peace be with us both. It was nice. This moment was nice, and we don't have to do this again.
Yeah. Even if you don't have the most exaggerated personality, even if you're just a chill person, you may not be for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like in our lives, there's always people that don't necessarily align with us, even if we are just ourselves, you know? And sometimes that's just life.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation and you understand that already about yourself, where if somebody does not like you, and it's okay, you know, you're not for them, but you're in a situation where you cannot get out of that place in that moment. Say if it's like a class or a party that you're trying to support somebody that you do love, and then there's people or somebody there that kind of, you know, that doesn't really align with you. What do you do in that scenario?
That's a good question. What do I do? I want to say that I'm completely myself the whole time, but that's not true. I think everyone has their moments, and sometimes I do kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And I feel like my weakness there is I'll need to go be alone, or just sometimes even if it's that bad, like have a cry afterwards and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Like, was I weird? Was I this? Was I that? But then I let it go.
Yes.
And I always have to come back to that, because if you ruminate on something, you're just driving yourself crazy. But then I have good moments where that happens, and I can just be myself and not really think about it. I'm like, they're here. They maybe don't vibe with me, and that's okay. And I don't have to talk to them. And if I do, it's like low stakes. I think about that too. I feel so blessed with my friendships and my relationships and my family that when other relationships don't work out, it kind of feels like to me just redirection, and I'll pour more into the other ones that I have, because I'm at an age where it's not worth it for me to put myself into something that feels forced. If that makes sense.
That makes complete sense. Okay. And I love that. That is so true, where you feel like you have enough.
Yeah.
In a way that you have enough love, you have relationships that are strong, so you don't feel like you need to do things or get into relationships that no longer serve you.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's a relationship that you feel like is so exciting, and then it feels like it's a strong relationship and you feel like you can have a lot of love in that relationship. But when it no longer serves you, you know when to step out of it.
For sure. And also, I get validation from the people in my life. So I don't need that external validation from people I don't even know. Because that doesn't mean much to me. And ironically, as an artist and as an actor, like I don't need the outside applause. It's not what makes me feel good. If anything, it makes me feel really uncomfortable. And so I feel really lucky that I get it from the people who are in my circle, because that means so much more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if a person close to you were to say they're disappointed in you, as opposed to, I don't know, a teacher in a class that you took for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't know you. Whereas the friendship one would probably hit me harder.
Yeah. So coming from that, what is your advice on building a strong circle around you?
Number one, being yourself. Because the more you front something or someone that you're not, the more you're going to have the wrong opportunities and the wrong people in your life, I think. And so just slowly building that with consistency and using your gut instincts and, I don't know, giving the love you wish to receive. Is that so cliche?
No, that's so true, though. That's exactly how I try to live by. And I feel like I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
You know, like every day it's a choice to make. Like we can be so aware of that, but it's like every day it's literally a choice. And sometimes sometimes you're just like, okay, in this moment I could actually abandon myself or abandon my beliefs in this decision, but I'm choosing not to, even though it can seem harder right now in this moment.
Yep.
You know?
That's so good. I love that. To choose it every day, whether that's kindness, love, or yourself. Yeah, I love that.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess we've kind of gone through this. How do you stay true to yourself while adapting to a completely new environment? Because I do know that you recently moved to the city. Yeah, and although you're from New York too, like
Yeah.
from Long Island, it's a complete new environment.
Yes.
So coming into this environment, maybe it was also because you've developed yourself a little bit more because you're, in your 20s now. It's different from when you're coming in as like an adolescent.
Yeah.
But you've had life experiences before. So what would you say would be your advice on staying true to yourself while
Acclimating somewhere.
Yeah.
I think small steps forward. In the past, when I had to acclimate to big changes, I thought that big change meant that everything else had to change too. And then I would just get really overwhelmed and do nothing. And so with moving to the city, first I moved here. That was enough.
Yeah.
I had my job, obviously. I knew what I was doing. Then I started to get to know my roommates, started to hang out with them, started to go to ballet, like very small things that have now turned into a beautiful life. Like ballet, I did not know was going to open up so many doors for me. And not even opportunities, more so just a community that I feel a part of. I love going to dance. Like, it makes me feel so good. And if you asked me that 3 years ago, I would have been like, ballet, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, so small steps that you think don't matter, when you look back after, let's say, 6 months, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I was slowly building a life. Each step is just a little building block, and I live by that, yeah.
We've talked about this before, in our own conversations about the insecurities or the mindsets that we have around that. But what would you say is one thing that keeps you motivated when you feel like you're surrounded by talented people, right? And when you want to compare, what is one thing that keeps you on your path?
I think remembering why I started it. And it's not to be good, and it's not to... Obviously, you want to have goals, and you want to get better. And I danced growing up, like, as a kid, but not, to the level that I'm dancing now. And I grew up with my older sister, who is a dancer.
Oh,
like,
wow,
that was,
really?
Yeah, that is and was her life, so that's what I knew growing up. And then also my best friend in the entire world is an amazing dancer, amazing ballerina. And so I think having those two in my life also made me be like, wait, but I just do this for fun, silly. And now when I do it, I feel so much more confident because I think I'm older and more aware. And I lost the question. I went on a tangent.
No, it's okay. How are you staying motivated in your path and journey?
Yeah. I think just remembering the feeling that it gave me the first time I took class in New York City.
Aw, what was that feeling?
I cried after.
Really?
Like, happy
was
tears.
Was that in that class?
Probably. Because we had to take ballet in college with my major. We really loved ballet in college. And I had stopped because obviously I graduated and the pandemic and yada yada. And my friend was like, you have to come. I was so nervous. I took Michelle's class, and after I started crying, and I just was like, I can't believe I've been missing out on this. This made me feel so good. I love this. I love this class. I love this teacher. And the rest is history. Like, I take that class all the time.
I feel like it's really important to kind of ground yourself in the way that craft makes you feel.
Yeah. When I look at the older women taking ballet class with us,
yeah,
and I'm talking older women. I'm not being, like, 30s. No, 70 plus. Yeah, and they're killing it. And like, if I'm not you when I'm that age, I'm kidding.
It's so true though.
Like, go off.
Yes, and actually I tell this to people all the time. The people that have like wanted to take ballet classes, when I meet strangers and stuff, they're like, oh, I really want to take ballet, but I'm nervous. I'm like, girl, there's literally like 70-year-old women in our ballet class.
Oh, yeah.
They're like goals for me because I want to be able to move my body like that.
Yes.
When I get older, like I want to be able to dance for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're so kind.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, for what?
Yeah, I know. They're so kind.
They're just so happy and content. Like, of course you are. You're taking ballet at 10:30 a.m. You wouldn't be doing this if you weren't the coolest person ever.
Yeah, or like enjoying life.
Yeah.
That better be us. Girl, Petit Allegro, forget about it. I think that's my least favorite.
Yeah,
And
jumps.
Jumps. Well, I love like across the floor jumps. Like,
That's different.
yeah, girl, I know it's different. I love it actually when I can do it. Mm-hmm. But dang, it's fast.
Yeah, I always stand in the back for that. And then you get the Avery, come to the front. Michelle, come to the front. Like, I'm standing in the back for a reason.
But you know what? I do stand at the front because I get really distracted.
By the people in front of you?
Yeah, by
My friend was saying that.
You don't get that way?
No.
Me in every class, I get distracted by the people. If I know the combination, it's like a day 2 combination, I can stand in the back and I can learn it because then I'll have like space and there's no pressure because it doesn't feel like people behind you are watching you.
Yeah.
But I just get so distracted because then my thoughts will like wander. It's probably because I take things really seriously.
Yeah, you
Like-
do. Hey, I'm like, meow. Meow.
You are. But okay, we're both the same. It's like we mess
Yeah.
up, we won't take it seriously. Like we'll like laugh it off because it's not that serious. But I do take it seriously.
Yeah, well, you need to a certain extent.
Yeah, because I'm like really focused. You know?
And I also just respect our teacher so much and the class that we're taking. Like, we have a live pianist,
Yeah.
which is something I will never take for granted. When I'm in a class and let's say it's a sub, so we don't have a live pianist or something,
Yeah.
I'm like, like, no, not Spotify.
That's fun. And then the ads come up. Yeah. But actually, yeah, I rarely take classes without a live pianist because I might like not say her name on here. Because
Oh yeah, I know. I gatekeep. I'm so bad. I'm so bad
literally-
because I know teachers make more money when they have more people in class, and they're like, "Oh, who are your favorite teachers?" I'm like, "Shh." I'm like, "Stop."
you're like stop.
I'm like, next conversation.
You're like, yeah, so the weather's really good, right? I love that environment and I love being there, but I don't think my deep love is for ballet. I think I love the fact that it's so structured and I go in and I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah, but I feel like my true deep love in dance is like lyrical.
Ooh.
Yeah, like lyrical contemporary or like
Yeah.
lyrical ballet contemporary.
Okay.
Like that mixture of
Yeah.
dance.
Love.
Yeah. Okay, well, we kind of did go through this. Little blush. How do you stay true to yourself when you may not necessarily be accepted?
Ooh.
Yeah. Was there ever an environment where you feel like you weren't accepted, not by a person, but by an environment? And how do you stay true to yourself and not give into that? Do you think it's more important to move out of that environment? Like, what is your take?
First of all, like, all the time, I feel like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because think about how many places you go in a day and you don't have to, but you are who you are and that's that. And that being said, as much as I want to say, like, be who you are and, like, make no accommodations, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying accommodate for the other people, but I tend to accommodate for myself, and I think it's a way to keep myself safe, and that's just what works for me. So if I'm in an environment where I feel like I can't be my silly, goofy, full 100% Avery self, I will tone it back. And it's not for them. It's for me because I don't want to feel the repercussions of judgment, which is all perceived and it's projection and it's my own insecurity. And maybe that wouldn't happen in that environment and I'm just like thinking it would or whatever. But how it works for me is I feel better still staying true to who I am, but maybe just,
Yeah.
like feeling out the vibes.
Yes, it's so human.
Yeah.
Like, it's human because we want to be accepted. You're not going to completely change ourselves to be accepted because that would be abandoning and giving yourself up. But to be able to be aware of the scenario is a very good trait. I feel like I could definitely be more aware, you know, because sometimes, although I feel the environment, I'm like, I don't care, you know?
Which is okay if you don't care about, you know, the feelings that it comes with.
Yeah.
I personally, it will overwhelm me and make me feel like a certain type of way that then I start projecting all these things onto these people who probably, you know, don't mean as much harm as in my head I'm making it out to be.
It's so true.
And so it's just what works for me. I wish sometimes I could be like, no, like, I am who I am.
No, I feel like it's so good to be that way, you know? I don't know about men, but with women, because there'll be times where you're like, I don't care at all. Just be whoever you are in that scenario. And then when you get home, you're like, oh my God, why did I say that?
Yeah.
And then there'll be times where you're like, you know what, I'm going to tone it down. And then sometimes it might feel like you didn't say all the things that you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just like, I wasn't fully, you know, present. And I feel like it's always this balancing game of what your environment is.
And it's interesting you bring up gender because I feel as though with women there are more stereotypes that a woman can be associated with when they act certain ways as opposed to men when they act certain ways. So if you were to, I don't know, stand strong in your opinions, you're considered controlling or bossy, but a man is considered strong-willed and, you know, so
true.
So for women, I think it is sometimes a protective mechanism to just, you know, sometimes maybe change and, like we said, not change who you are, but keep yourself safe. I think that's a totally valid way to go about life.
We do, I feel like, use our personalities more to protect ourselves. Is there a moment where you felt like you truly belonged, and how does that feel like, and how can we seek for more of that in our lives?
Yeah, I get glimpses of, I mean, I have big moments all the time, but the ones that mean the most to me are those little tiny moments, itty bitty that feel like eternities in eternity, but it's actually just a second of time. And whether it's like a moment with my friend where we're belly laughing and I'll just have a flash before my eyes or a thought in my head where I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels so good.
Yeah.
And I feel so safe and I belong, like you were saying. So it's always small moments like that, I feel. And yeah, usually with just the people I love in whatever circumstance we're in, whether it's being goofy or in a class or something like that.
I totally agree with that. I'm going to answer this question too. Feeling understood is when I feel like I really belong. But like big moments where I feel like, okay, I belong are like the magical moments in life where things just align.
Yes.
You know? It's like even the small things where it's just like, you're transferring on a train and the train that you're supposed to get on literally arrives right in front of you. Yeah, like
love
as you
those moments.
Yes.
And you have to love those moments.
Yeah.
I find myself sometimes skipping over the mundane or what seems to be the mundane, which is a really good cup of coffee or like you said, the train coming right when you walk down those stairs. That's a moment for you to literally in your head be like, wow, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, thank goodness. Because if you don't acknowledge those moments, life becomes so dull.
Yes.
And also you forget how much you take for granted.
Yeah. Speaking about enjoying the mundane moments, even if it's like a cup of coffee or getting to make breakfast in the morning, whatever it is so true because you can't always seek for the next thing that is exciting. Because if you're always here seeking for the next thing that will bring you this dopamine hit or bring you this excitement, you'll never really fully experience the full capacity of your life because you're only trying to live the highs. And our life consists of highs, lows, straight lines, all these curves and all these things, you know? So being able to just say like, wow, I'm so happy that I, have flowers on my counter. It's just like an appreciation of where you are and the experience that you're going through right now in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Love. My episodes have been 15 minutes long.
It's hard when you're alone.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, I don't think you want to hear me talk for 40 minutes. So,
I do.
Yeah. Have you listened to an episode of
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Which episode?
The first two? Do you only have two?
I have 3. This
Okay,
is
I didn't
episode
listen
4.
to the last one.
No, it's okay. So sweet. Okay, this is actually the last question. What advice would you give to someone afraid of taking a leap of faith and starting over?
Oh. If you feel it, do it. If you feel it, do it, especially if there's minimal risk right now. I think if we're talking to people in their young 20s, so many much wiser and older people in my life tell me all the time, if you're going to do it now.
Yeah.
Because the risk is worth the reward. Whereas when you do have more responsibilities as you get older, whether that's a family, kids, financial responsibilities, things just become harder, and that's how life goes. And so if you feel like you need to start over, trust yourself.
Yeah.
And do it. Anytime that has happened to me, in the moment it's terrifying. And then in the end, it's the best thing that could have happened. An example, I was living in Philadelphia for a while because I went to school in Philadelphia. And then 2 years after, I lived there with my best friend. And we lived together for 4 years.
Wow, that must have been fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And I remember when she was like, I have to talk to you. I was like, oh, I know where this is going. And she said, me and my boyfriend want to live together next year, which valid, heard. I took that as an opportunity to just begin again.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a reason. If that had not happened, I think I'd still be in Philadelphia. And not that that's a bad thing, but 6 months have gone by in this new city, and I feel like a brand new person. I'm doing things that I never thought I would do. I have friends that I never thought I would have. I just feel so renewed, and I know that that's just going to keep happening every couple of years or every year or whenever, because I say yes. If I feel it, I do it. And I think that's important. Unless it's dangerous, then don't.
Yeah, like a toxic relationship. You know what? That's what I actually...
You really had that. You were like a toxic relationship.
I had that in the back of my mind. Wait. Leading from that, though, I have 2 questions. Because how do you know when it's your intuition telling you to move versus a feeling telling you to move, staying in a toxic job? You know it's bad for you, but you have this feeling that you want to stay. How do you know when it's your intuition telling you to move versus the other?
I think when the consequences of feeling bad feel greater than the potential future. So I always say, if you are dealing with something, it's because you can deal with it and you're choosing to deal with it. One day, you're going to decide that it's enough. And it kind of is just up to that gut instinct, that feeling that tells you otherwise, and you being so tuned in that you're able to listen to it. But I think eventually it will get to a point where you have to.
Yeah.
It's less of a choice and more of a need.
Yes, because you can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's not the second question. Now I have a question from this question.
Love it.
So, do you think it's better to move when you have that instinct, that when that gut feeling is so small, it's like pea size? I guess this is like more of an opinionated thing or what you do more in your life, but do you find yourself moving or creating that change when it's time? Like you're like, I need to leave. Versus you're like, okay, I have that gut feeling and I'm going to, although it feels like a pea-sized thing right now and it almost feels so far in the distance, I'm going to make that choice based on that small feeling I have.
Like you said, it is so subjective. For me, I struggle so much with change that it has to be the need.
Yeah.
Like my roommate telling me we're not living together next year was it was the catapult to my my future, because if she had said let's stay in Philly, I had known I probably didn't want to make a life there any longer. Love Philadelphia, shout out. But I was ready to move on. Would I have stayed because I was so comfortable? Yes, absolutely. And like I said, that's just me. Change is scary and it's uncomfortable and it's the unknown. And I don't like all of the feelings that come with it. So I choose comfort, which I'm trying to work on. But so for me, it's the need.
Yeah. Sometimes you need an external source to like guide you in that way, to show you like, okay, you're being like kind of being rejected from a certain scenario so that you can be redirected to something else. But I feel like a way to practice listening to your intuition more is to have small scenarios when you can follow those intuitions.
Yes, I was talking about this the other day.
Really?
Yes. This honestly circles back to staying true to yourself, because I think those smaller decisions you make by yourself without consulting other people is a testament to how well you know yourself. So small, tiny decisions, even what to have for dinner, or what glasses to choose, or what coat to pick out. I, in the past, have gone to so many other people before I went to myself. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Why am I asking you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have input from other people on different situations, yada, yada. But there are small, tiny decisions that I wasn't making for myself that I am fully capable of making.
Yeah.
Like, why would you know what I want to eat?
Yeah.
That is so silly.
Yeah.
And so I think the more you build kind of like the small, tiny steps, the more you just start trusting yourself in those tiny moments, the more you're going to feel comfortable when those big moments happen, being like, you know what, this isn't anxiety, this is my intuition, and this is telling me something.
That is so true. I've never even thought about it that way, but it's so true, because your life is built up of small choices and decisions that you've made, whether it be like what coat you're wearing or what you decide to eat, whatever it is, there's always a small repercussion from that decision. I've talked a little bit about this in my other podcast episodes, but building confidence is very similar, but in a different way, because trust is like, you know, we say like the small decisions. I find myself building confidence when I am going into scenarios that scare me, you know?
Exposure therapy.
Yeah, no. So say like there's like a party that, you know, I'm nervous to go to because I know there's going to be different types of people, and what if I'm nervous and shy, but I'll still go. I know it's a challenge that I have to overcome, because if I keep avoiding stuff like that, then I'll never be able to grow. But if I continue to do things that challenge me, then I'll be able to build my confidence in different ways and know that you can go into different scenarios and do those things because you've done it before.
Have you seen that guy on TikTok who randomly comes up to people and is like, what makes you confident?
Yes, oh my god. I know, sometimes I practice.
Do you actually? Well, I don't practice, but I have thought about the things I would say.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what I mean. Like,
I'm not
standing in the mirror like, oh, me?
That's what I imagine.
No. Okay,
we listen, but we don't judge. Yeah, let's do that. That's fun.
Okay.
What would I even? Anyway, but no, I think about it often when confidence comes up, because I like how everyone obviously has something different for them, and I think that's what my answer would be that it's something different in every moment I have. You know, sometimes my friends make me confident. Sometimes the clothes I'm wearing makes me confident. Sometimes making decisions makes me confident. Like, it's never one thing.
Oh, that is so true.
Yeah.
That is actually so true because confidence is definitely a feeling. And when I say going through challenges makes you confident, I say that because I feel more confident in more scenarios than not because I've done hard things. You know, like walking on the street, because I've taken dance classes and embarrassed the heck out of myself because I forgot the combination when we're going in groups. I can walk down the street even if I'm wearing an outfit that I'm not cute in because I've done worse in a sense.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I feel confident because I have overcome the hard feelings of embarrassing myself in front of a class, in front of talented people,
Yeah.
and like the teachers that I admire. So I'm
Yeah.
like
You're
walking
low
on
stakes.
the street. Yeah. Low stakes.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So it's
Yeah.
just like I feel like confidence is a feeling, and we can't always feel confident all the time. But a big aspect to feeling it more often than not is to get into scenarios that kind of make you uncomfortable and then learning to overcome those emotions so that you can understand the lower stakes experiences and you can just work through them
Yeah.
easier.
And being gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, being okay with who you are is such a...
Circling back to the whole entire video topic.
Not intentional.
But yeah, that's so true though.
I say this in my head all the time to myself. Sometimes I even say it out loud. I'm like, be gentle.
Yeah.
To myself, because I find myself in moments just being so hard on myself for what?
And it's not even your own voice. Like, it's
No.
not who you are. I feel like it's judgment. I'm sorry to interrupt you, by the way.
Please.
But please.
Please.
But I feel like it's like judgment from the people around you growing up, like whether it be your parents or your teachers or whatever it is who have like implement those voices in your head because they have the same voices in their head, you know, so it's easy for them to point it out in you, and then now we've developed it in ourselves. But it's so important to you're right, like be gentle. And this is what one of my dance teachers said to me one time, and I didn't understand it at the time, and I'm always so grateful. She said this to me because as I've grown up, I've understood what it meant, but she said, give yourself grace. And it's exactly what you're saying. Be gentle.
Yeah.
Like,
and it helps you be gentle with other people too.
I was literally going to say that. I was literally.
Yeah. Whether that be in more extreme scenarios or just when I find myself judging, because we do it. Let's be real. I'm like, Avery, be gentle. Like, you're being an ass right now. Like, everyone is just doing their thing, and, you know, I have to remember that a lot.
Yeah, it's so true, though. And you know what? I think what's important is that we are remembering that, you know, to give grace. And when everything is, like, building up, you're like, well, let me take a breath and let me give myself grace. Because it's gonna happen, you know? Sometimes we're in scenarios where we just cannot like get out of our own heads. But to be aware of that and say, okay, actually I need to take a breath. Also, you're probably judging yourself way harder than anyone else would.
All of it is projection. All of it is, and I know that. That's the problem. But it's helpful because I'm like, okay, I'm making this stuff up. In my head.
Right. Because I think sometimes like judgment and criticalness is not judgment, like negative judgment, but like to be aware of the good and the bad and what you want to do and what you want to be is good for growth. Because you understand, okay, I don't want to do this again because it's
like discernment.
Yes, discernment, but you don't want to beat yourself down about it, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Be gentle.
Be gentle. Okay, before we end this podcast, I do this with every episode. I do 2 little loves at the end of each video. The first little love you want to do about yourself, and then the second would be about something that is, you know, just something, anything.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. I didn't have time to think about it. I wrote it down, so.
Cheater.
Yeah, sorry. I should have told her. My first little love about anything is movies, guys. I watched Moana yesterday, and I
Moana
watched
1?
2.
2?
So good.
Really?
I cried. Yeah,
Okay.
it was so good. And then Wicked, and I just love being immersed in a story that like just takes me on a journey. And both of them, impeccable. So I would say movies in general, but also Wicked and Moana as my little love for anything. And then my little love for myself would be the fact that I'm trying new things and I'm kind of, expanding on the things that I'm doing, like this podcast and like having a guest on and having a friend. It's really nice because I feel like I'm expanding what I love to do, which I really appreciate.
I love that. Get it?
Thank you. No, I know. I did get it. I get it.
My little love in general right now, probably my relationships. Just in every area of my life, I feel so strong. And to feel so secure, I think, is a privilege that not everyone has. And so I just feel really, really blessed. And then my little love about myself is kind of a year encompassing little love, which is perseverance. And I feel like this year specifically, I really did that. And so coming to the new year, I just feel accomplished is not the word I want for it, but I feel like I persevered, and it feels really good to admit that for myself. So
Yes. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for watching Little Life Lessons episode 4. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.